Ayun nga, what's up ulit? Nagbabalik tayo sa panibagong video at panibagong kalokohan. Ayan, tingnan nyo, walang gana si AJ. Bakit?
Hindi gamit. Sa EDSA bar.
Sa EDSA. Nagbike ka?
Oo.
Ayun, ang ano natin is scary videos. Matatakot ka ba? Matatakot ka? Sabog ka eh. Baka di ka matakot eh.
Number 15. Someone's at the door. A home security camera caught this scary sight in Corvina. Posted by Ruby Gonzalez in December of 2018, Ruby Ryan called out the resident's first name several times. The family was home at the time. You can see one of the men approach with his hood up and a kerchief covering his mouth, wearing a backpack. He knocks on the door, waiting with his head down, likely aware of where the security camera is located. A second dude also approaches, dressed in the same fashion. He's carrying a crowbar. They knock a second and third time, alerting a small dog inside. When a car passes, they both turn to look down the street and ensure there are no witnesses. He knocks several more times, saying, "Come on, bro." But the second dude eventually taps him on the arm, indicating it's time to give up and leave, which thankfully they do. Whatever they came for, they left empty-handed.
Buti na lang daw, ano? Di napasok. Pag ikaw yung nandun sa bahay, natutulog ka, tapos nakita mo sa CCTV, ganun pala.
Basta ano.
Ganun pala, pumapasok na pala. Anong reaction?
Wala lang.
Sabog
pa din.
Sabog ang putik.
Wala alam yung ginagawa nila.
Ang sakit ng mata ko, guys. Pasensya nyo na kung kumukurap-kurap.
14. Wake up. This isn't a gentle good morning. Published to YouTube by C4CAT in March of 2018. This is what happens when an early bird of a ghost is angry that you're not up yet. The video shows a man asleep in bed as window curtains nearly blow, at times pushing the entire curtain to the side. The young man at first remains undisturbed by this. At one point, when the curtain is brushed over, you can see something white appear behind the bars of the window.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
The fuck? Buti na lang yung bintana mo, boy, di ba, nandun sa harap. Ay, paano yan pag may multo, number 14. Ayun, makikita mo na lang dyan sa harap no, di ba? Ang mag-hi ka.
Then an obscure flash of white passes close to the camera. Shortly after, there's a slow disturbance in the man's blanket. Part of it lifts until the entire blanket billows up like a bucket of cold water. This is one alarm clock you wouldn't want to wake up to. Number 13. The Witch in White. How would you feel if your CCTV camera caught this? Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Relevant Hole 5903. This footage of a woman in white was caught on camera in the dark of night. It shows a ghostly figure in white crossing the grounds outside of a gated building with barbed wire fixed to the top. The stranger walks slowly in her flowing dress until she leaves the camera's sight. Some are suggesting this is a classic walk of shame. Others think the Redditor lives next to some shady stuff. But some are sure it's the legendary La Lorena. If it is, stay clear of water, because the legend goes that she would take your life in the water. Redditor Blues Forever 67 writes, "This is one of those instances where I think, what if we see ghosts all the time, but they're so vivid that we just think they're people?" I have to agree with that statement. My mind has been blown by this footage. Number 12. Red-faced entity. You don't want this guy popping up in your next selfie. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit, Princess Lena 87 explains that there was no one else in the room when this video was recorded, except apparently this insane red face who popped up behind them. The clip shows two friends recording a selfie video, laughing and having fun. As the video pans right, nothing is behind them, but when it pans left again, a slimy red figure appears over their shoulders. Lena shares the screenshot in the comments. While some think it's Snape, others suggest something not from a Harry Potter book, and rather an entity that is quite nefarious. Redditor Analytical Amy writes, "It may just be some freakish weirdness, but was there ever a fire close by or in that house over the years?" Later saying that it looks like someone who was in the home during something like this. Whether you think this is the case or not, one piece of advice, don't turn around. I believe this video is 100% real, and that only makes it all the more scarier.
Ikaw, boy, imagine mo, boy, tayong dalawa, nag-record.
Ayun, dyan.
Saan dyan sa likod? Number 30. Yung pinakaayaw ko eh. Pero yung pag kunwari yung trip mo lang mag-video sa Snapchat, ganun. Tapos bigla na lang may filter. So,
Number 11. Different city sightings. These two unidentified flying object sightings are eerily similar. Posted on Reddit by GamersGen. These two sightings from Miami and Beijing are comparative. The first appeared in Beijing on February 3rd, 1995. The unidentified flying object hovers as an illuminated yellow disc in the evening sky. After a while, it starts to glide slowly overhead. GamersGen posts a second video in the comments, one which looks similar to the first but was captured on October 20th, 1995. This unidentified flying object was spotted along a freeway. The driver pulled over to capture it hovering near an apartment complex and then over Miami Airport. GamersGen suggests that today, unidentified flying objects aren't seen as often for a reason. His theory? They have become more cautious and further said, they seem to be extremely aware of us observing them, and above all, they don't want to be compromised. What do you think? It makes sense to me, and these two sightings are certainly quite similar. Number 10. Multilegged flying beast. This creature in the sky is unidentifiable, but it's got 6 legs. We originally came across this video on the Spanish-speaking scary video community in June of 2019. The thing appears to have a pinhead, multiple crab-like legs, and finally wings. As you can see when it takes off from the tree branch it's crouched upon. The creature looks extraterrestrial. It's certainly something nobody has seen on Earth. Whatever it is, you don't want this monster hiding under your bed. We managed to track down the original source, and this turns out to be a CGI creature made by the Nicaraguan YouTube team, JJPD Producciones. So if you come across this video because it's spreading all over the internet, now you know its true origins. Number...
Wait lang, ingay kasi ng saglit lang. Hindi nakasara yung sliding door. Kaya ayun, isasara namin. So ayun, medyo tahimik na. Kamusta? Matahimik na ba?
Ewan ko.
Ayun na.
9. Vanishing Act. Now you see him, now you don't. Posted by Calligram to the Chills Narrator subreddit. This clip appeared on YouTube's Scary World of Videos in October of 2020. Men in a forested area are just hanging out when a stranger is seen walking in the background. He passes behind a tree but doesn't come out the other side. The cameraman walks towards the tree and circles it entirely, but the man seems to have disappeared into thin air. The camera even pans up to see if he climbed the tree, but there's just no way. Where did he go? One Redditor, Shabba Bull, has the answer in the comments. He went back to the year he came from. Do you think this is the case? Or is this clever editing? I wish I knew for sure. So all I can say for now is I think this footage is definitively mysterious. Number 8. Fiery Phantom. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by SALAMAT and originally published to YouTube by Bike Jin in March of 2020. This paranormal investigator may have just crossed paths with something very nefarious. While exploring an abandoned house, the investigator spies this creepy witchy woman in the hallway. Flames suddenly spark, running down the length of the hallway and flying up into the air in the adjacent room. It then falls in a giant blaze to the floor, burning in a ball on the carpet. For a time, the investigator watches the flames burn. It burns low, but then it bursts again, while the door behind it swings closed and then opens repeatedly. Is this a Jin's doing? Or maybe a witch's? Either way, get the heck out of there. Number 7. Indonesia
Paano lang
magic.
yan? Baka string lang yung apoy.
Some things you have to see to believe. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Wretched Cataizer says this video was captured in 2007 in Indonesia. The Redditor writes, since access from the main city to village is far enough, They used magic to lift this extra weight mosque dome to the top. Reported by local news, the footage shows a dome appearing to float in the sky, while on the ground the people chant. The dome appears to be fluttering in the wind, so it's unclear what it's made of, or whether its materials could explain the seemingly miraculous levitation. It continues to rise higher into the sky.
So ayun, nag-buffering ang video.
Ayaw,
Ayan, guys.
many into play,
Hindi, isa lang
while
yung
others
last
are
na to.
suggesting it's just a balloon floating. Redditor Sign Loco writes, so after this, when you see an unidentified flying object, it's just floating construction tools. Either sounds supernatural to me. Number 6, Dashcam Ghost. Would you stop and
Ayan.
investigate if you captured
Mag-like ka rin
this
ng
on
Dashcam,
Dashcam? Published to
Mag-like ka rin ng
YouTube by
Dashcam,
Crooked
sabi.
Pixel in September of 2017.
Baka it's a prank.
This Dashcam footage will have you paying closer attention to the road at night. Captured in July of 2012 at 1 in the
Surprise,
morning.
motherfucker.
The video shows a
Parang
driver
ano,
cruising down a
parang ano,
highway.
edited.
All is normal until this happens.
Yung mga movie,
A
di ba,
white
ganyan
ghostly
din yun?
sheet floats over the road. You can hear the driver take a sharp intake of breath. The sheet is billowing in the wind as it floats upwards in the darkness, but the driver speeds on past it without stopping. Many in the comments think it's CGI.
Mag-stop ka
Well,
lang.
James Brady
Walang
says that was a piece of paper or a plastic bag blowing
Baka-
in
baka nga
the
lang.
wind. What do you think? As a driver, would you stop or accelerate?
Hindi, baka nga lang may ano lang lumilipad na...
Ano naka-steady lang?
Hindi, di ba mahangin? Tapos mali mo lumilipad na plastic bag lang, ganun, di ba? Sa atin nga lumilipad diaper eh.
Life, ascending spirit. This ghost sighting will send chills down your spine. Published to YouTube by TechWorld TV in August of 2014. This video shows a haunted Hindu cremation site. A man arrives at this site in India to investigate a local story. According to the man, he was walking down this dirt road when he saw an entity at this place. The investigator explains that passed away individuals are taken there for their last rites. Nobody lives here, apart from packs of stray dogs. As the man navigates around the puddles on the wet road to approach the ceremonial sites, dogs start barking like crazy at a distance.
In this place. This place.
Then the man shouts that he just saw an entity floating from the building further back. Upon closer inspection of the video, you can see the white vapor the man is talking about. It appears in the darkness under the veranda before floating up and then vanishing. Well, some point out the
Malay
vapor
mo sa
moves
camera.
simultaneously with the camera. One Redditor,
Oh, tignan
Ricky
mo.
Jaikaran
Galing na
notes, I would have said it was a smudge on the camera if the dogs hadn't started to bark at the same time. What do you think? Coincidence or a spirit ascending? Number 4. Abandoned care home creeper. Someone is watching you.
God.
Published to YouTube by Finders
Sa
Beepers
building.
History
Wala.
Seekers in August of 2020. The channel
Yun lang.
writes, Matt and Andy are reunited in this week's Creepy Explorer, an abandoned care home that was shut down for reports of terrible living conditions. Although it was shut down, maybe something paranormal stuck around. About 20 minutes into the edited video, the pair are headed up the stairs when they see this. Panning up to the second level, a figure moves across the upper hallway in the darkness. Unbeknownst to Mike and Andy, the shadowy menace was clearly watching them. The pair calls out to the person, but no answer. They consider backing down, but they think there's someone on the bottom floor as well. They decide to take their chances upward, but when they head up there, they find there's no one on the landing. And in fact, that landing where the figure crossed over doesn't even lead to another room. There's no way out. Some in the comments think the figure was the spirit of a former patient or staffer. Open Paranormal writes, I think you just caught some of the best paranormal activity I've ever seen. There's clearly no one around, but you could clearly see a shadow of someone up there. We'd have to agree, this one seems genuine. Number 3. The Cathedral of Ghosts.
Go.
Originally posted to YouTube by Dark Pirate Stories in October of
The
2020,
Cathedral of
this
Ghosts.
haunting clip takes you on a walkthrough of the Church of Ghosts in the Czech Republic. The cathedral is full of faceless statues covered in stone cloaks, sitting in the pews. The image is unsettling, but it's meant to be. Lying east of Prague in a small town, this place has been around since the 14th century. When the roof collapsed in 1968, it went abandoned. Some said it was haunted. In a bid to restore it, local resident Peter Kugel and art student Jacob Hadrava teamed up with the latter, creating this eerie installation to draw people and interest to the location. It worked. So far, they've been able to repair the roof, and this location continues to get big attention online. Number 2, abandoned remains. Well, you expect to find some creepy stuff in an abandoned funeral home. Abandoned remains are probably not among the usual suspects. Published to YouTube by RNK All Day in March of 2020, the channel writes, "We found ashes inside an abandoned funeral home that was condemned due to the funeral director leaving and hiding bodies. It was located in North Carolina. It was closed down in 2012 after client complaints. The funeral home's former owner was put behind bars for not burying the individuals." RNK All Day explores this home and its unnerving history. Amongst the creepy things found inside are Polaroids of the passed on individuals and a squatter's bed made up inside the building. But of course, the most unsettling thing they encountered was a bag of ashes in a torn cardboard box. According to a timestamp on the box, they were from 1995, meaning they've remained there for over 2 decades. Let's hope they finally received a proper burial. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds?
Subscribe na
Because
sa
we
channel
upload
ko.
a new scary video every week. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. Number 1, the haunted door. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, fear can take your breath away. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, Tyler12798 explains that he took this video while he was 12 at his mom's office. Tyler writes, "There were rumors that a ghost named Kevin roamed the place. One day I recorded this. We heard deep moaning coming from a window. Let's see what happened next."
You! Keep open the door! Keep open the door! Close it! Open! Now open it! Open! Open!
A wooden door kept slamming and swinging of its own accord. According to Tyler, all the windows were closed when this occurred, so it was unlikely to be an issue of airflow. Some in the comments note that they have never captured the other side of the door on film, so there might have been someone behind opening and shutting it. Tyler claims there was no one. In the comments, Tyler also writes that when he returned from the bathroom, a sticky note on the door read, "Kevin was here." While many insist that outside airflow caused this, we'd like to think it was the Home Alone ghost playing practical jokes. So do you think this has a rational or paranormal explanation? Thanks for checking out this video.
So yun guys, yun lang yung video natin ngayon. Oy, takot ka ba?
Hindi mo natawa.
Sabog pa din. Sabog pa din. So yun guys, maraming salamat sa panonood at yun, abangan ng next video para magkaroon ulit ng next video. Huwag kalimutan mag-like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. 1, 2, 3, bye-bye.